Part 1. The sweet lie we swallowed. You finish dinner. You're full, satisfied, but your mouth still wants something. Just a little sweet, a piece of chocolate, a scoop of ice cream, a cookie. Something to round off the meal, to complete the story. You tell yourself it's just a treat, just a bite, just a way to relax. And in the moment, it works. You feel calmer, soothed, happy. But then something strange happens. You get into bed, ready to drift off, but your brain is restless. Your body doesn't want to slow down, or worse, you fall asleep easily, only to jolt awake at 2:17 a.m., heart pounding, mind buzzing, wide-eyed and wondering, why am I up again? And here's the truth no one talks about. Sugar, especially in the evening, might be the reason you can't stay asleep. Not because sugar is evil, but because it's stimulating. It messes with your blood sugar, your cortisol, your melatonin. It's like putting your nervous system on a roller coaster and expecting it to rest at the peak. And most of us have been riding that roller coaster for years, without even realizing it. Let's break it down. When you eat sugar, especially refined sugar or carbs without protein or fat, your blood sugar spikes. Your body responds by releasing insulin to bring things back down. Sometimes it overcorrects, causing a drop, what we call a blood sugar crash. And your body doesn't like crashing. It sees it as a threat, so it releases adrenaline and cortisol to bring your levels back up. Guess when that usually happens? Yep, in the middle of the night. When your body's supposed to be resting, it's suddenly fighting to rebalance. That's the 2 a.m. wake-up call. That's the tossing, the sweating, the anxiety spike that seems to come from nowhere. It's not just stress, it's sugar. And it's not always about how much sugar you ate. Sometimes it's when you ate it, or what you combined it with, or how sensitive your system is after years of stress, poor sleep, irregular eating. Sugar alone isn't the villain, but in the wrong context, especially before bed, it's like playing loud music in a room that's trying to fall asleep. Your body hears it, even if your mind tries to ignore it. And it's not just about obvious desserts. Sugar hides in pasta sauces, salad dressings, flavored yogurts, granola bars, cereals, even healthy snacks. You might think you're eating clean, but if your dinner ends with a sweetened drink, or a sneaky dose of syrup, or a late-night bowl of cereal, your sleep could still be paying the price. So what do? You don't have to swear off sweetness forever. You just have to start connecting the dots. Start asking better questions. When I eat this at night, how do I feel when I wake up? Do I crash at 3 a.m. after dessert? Do I feel more anxious after certain snacks? Do I wake up puffy, groggy, or wired? Your body is already giving you data. You just have to listen. Because sugar isn't just about taste, it's about chemistry. And when you understand the chemistry, you stop blaming your body. You start supporting it. And that, friend, is the beginning of freedom. Part 2. Finding sweetness without the spike. Let's be honest. Sugar isn't just about the taste. It's about comfort, celebration, memory. That birthday cake, that summer popsicle, that warm cookie on a rainy afternoon. For most of us, sugar is woven into our emotional landscape. It's how we soothe, how we connect, how we treat ourselves when the day's been too much. And that's okay. This isn't about demonizing sugar. It's about understanding its impact, especially at night, and learning how to enjoy sweetness without paying for it in your sleep. So let's talk strategy. The first one, pair your sugar with fiber, fat, or protein. When you eat sugar alone, it hits your bloodstream fast. But when you eat it with something that slows digestion, like nuts, yogurt, or whole grains, you buffer the impact. That means fewer crashes, fewer spikes, fewer cortisol jolts at 2 a.m. So instead of just having a cookie, try it with a handful of walnuts. Instead of sweet tea, try herbal tea with a little honey and a splash of oat milk. You're not avoiding sweetness, you're grounding it. Second, watch your timing. Sugar in the morning, your body can usually handle it better, especially if it comes with breakfast. Sugar in the late afternoon, it might give you a short boost, but crash your mood by dinner. Sugar right before bed, that's the one to watch. Not because it's immoral, but because it might rob you of the rest you desperately need. If you're going to enjoy something sweet, try having it earlier in the evening, right after dinner, not right before sleep. That gives your system time to process, instead of tossing and turning through a metabolic storm. Third, try natural sweetness. Fruit, sweet potatoes, dates, cinnamon, vanilla, these give you flavor and satisfaction without the roller coaster. A baked apple with cinnamon, a banana with almond butter, frozen mango chunks. These aren't lesser desserts. They're smarter ones your body understands, ones that offer nutrients, not just stimulation. And sometimes they're exactly enough to satisfy the craving without hijacking your sleep. Fourth, tune into the why. Ask yourself, do I actually want this? Or am I just exhausted, bored, lonely, stressed? Because sometimes the craving for sugar is really a craving for energy, for relief, for comfort. And sugar's just the fastest way you've learned to reach it. But if you pause, breathe, check in, you might find you need something else. A nap, a walk, a moment to cry, a moment to not be productive. And if you still want the treat afterward, have it. With presence, with joy, not with shame. But now you're choosing it, not being ruled by it. And here's one more strategy, maybe the most powerful of all. Let yourself feel sweet moments that don't involve sugar. A hug, a soft song, a hot bath, a memory, a moment of laughter, a sunset, a silence. These are real sweetness, the kind that doesn't spike your blood sugar, the kind that leaves your body softer, not stimulated, the kind that nourishes your heart and invites your nervous system to unwind. Because you don't need to earn sleep by restricting yourself. You earn sleep by supporting yourself. And the more you listen, the more you'll realize you're not addicted to sugar. You're addicted to escape. And when you stop needing to escape, when you create a life that feels safe, calm, connected, you stop needing sugar to carry that weight. You still get to enjoy sweetness, but now it comes with sleep, not spikes. With rest, not regret. Part 3, a sweeter way to sleep. There's something tender about the way we crave sugar. It's rarely just about the flavor. It's about the memory of being soothed. It's about that first candy after school, that slice of cake at grandma's table, that moment when life felt just a little more manageable with something sweet on your tongue. So it makes sense that when when we're stressed or sad or overstimulated, we reach for that familiar softness. Not because we're undisciplined, but because we're human. And somewhere along the way, sugar became a shortcut to comfort. But shortcuts can sometimes take us in the wrong direction. They work at first, until they don't. Until your body starts sending signals. The crashes, the wake-ups, the anxiety, the inflammation, not as punishment, but as feedback. As a gentle tap on the shoulder saying, hey, I need a different kind of sweetness now. And that's the moment we get to choose again. Not to shame ourselves, but to shift, to grow, to listen. Because the real goal isn't to eliminate sugar. It's to rebuild trust with your body, with food, with your own hunger and cravings. It's to create a relationship with sweetness that's conscious, kind, and calm. Where dessert isn't a crime, it's a choice. Where you don't eat it to escape, but to enjoy. Where it doesn't control your sleep, but coexists peacefully with it. And that begins with attention, with awareness, with asking, what do I actually want right now? And being brave enough to listen to the answer. Maybe it's a bite of dark chocolate. Maybe it's a phone call. Maybe it's water. Maybe it's a nap. Maybe it's stillness. Or maybe it's a reminder that you don't have to earn rest by pushing your body into the ground. You're allowed to rest simply because you exist. So what if you created new traditions, not ones built on sugar highs and crashes, but on softness, on nourishment, on real sweetness? Maybe a warm bowl of oats with cinnamon after dinner, a cozy herbal tea, a slow walk as the sun sets, a bedtime playlist that calms your whole system. These don't replace dessert. They expand the meaning of it. They invite sweetness to exist in more places than your plate. In your routines, your breath, your stillness, your presence. And when you live like that, when you choose your sweetness with care, you don't just sleep better. You live lighter. You wake up clearer. You stop battling your cravings and start befriending them because they were never the enemy. They were just the beginning of a conversation you hadn't learned to finish. So here's to finishing it with grace. Here's to sweetness that doesn't steal your rest, to comfort that doesn't come with consequences, to rest that arrives not from restriction, but from rhythm. Because sleep isn't about being perfect, it's about being peaceful. And sometimes peace tastes like a cup of tea, a square of chocolate, and the decision to love your body without conditions. Sleep well. You're doing better than you think, and your nervous system feels it. You've been listening to Eat to Sleep, a podcast from the Daily Health Shift. If this episode helped you understand your cravings, your blood sugar, and your late-night wake-ups in a new way, please follow the show, leave a kind review, and share it with someone who's tired of being tired. Because rest doesn't begin in your bed. It begins in your choices and in how kindly you make